But we are in studio with Congressman Ron Paul right now, and I want to move to foreign policy. Did the president miss a trick at the end of his announcement of the death of bin Laden and not say, and now we're coming home?
Well, I've strongly suggested he should have done that a long time ago. And on the day this announcement occurred, that a couple of days later, I did a floor speech with that very suggestion that, well, now's the time. You know, interestingly enough, there's a coalition of Democrats and Republicans had a bill ready to go in, and it was, you know, to require or request, you know, the president to make plans to come out of Afghanistan. But before we dropped the bill in, you know, bin Laden was killed. Yep. So it really offered us even a better opportunity. So Thursday of last week, the bill was dropped, and we thought it was, you know, sort of fortuitous that it came together. All right, you know, we've been arguing the case we should anyway, because we didn't even really believe that bin Laden was in Afghanistan. We were in nation building there. So that came together, and we put the bill in, and we're getting more support. But yes, I think he missed his opportunity. He would have been a real hero. I think it would have been economically sensible. I mean, the kind of money that we're spending, you know. So
I'm just not sure what we're doing. I know you and I actually differ on policy, which is fine. This is the United States of America. We're allowed to do that. But Afghanistan really bothers me because we got a commander-in-chief who says he doesn't like the word victory. I have no idea what we're doing there if we don't want to win. I have no idea.
Yeah.
Let's move to Iraq. He made a big deal out of, we're out of Iraq. Well, I don't count 50,000 troops as being out of a country. So what is your position on Iraq?
Get home as soon as possible. We can't afford it. We've wasted too much already. Al-Qaeda was never there. We just need to come home. And we got into that war not being told the truth. We were told there were weapons of mass destruction aimed at us and that Al-Qaeda was there. It wasn't true.
Just a brief side there. Were we lied to, or was the president and his administration operating on intelligence that proved to be inaccurate?
Well, I don't think anybody can absolutely say that unless they have a lot more investigation and maybe look into the hearts and minds of the people involved. But I would not be surprised to find out that there were a few in this advisory capacity and maybe from the vice president on down that fudged the figures, you know, and especially with all the trips that vice president spent over at the CIA. And then when we found out how the CIA was, you know, influenced Colin Powell, you know, there were a lot of shenanigans going on there.
What about Libya? Should we be there?
No, we shouldn't be in Libya. Right now it looks like the rebels in Libya might be more like a military coup. Nobody knows exactly who it is, and there's pretty strong suggestion that the rebels have Al-Qaeda elements in there, and we're over there sending them money and helping them out. And it's also, why are we in Libya and we weren't in Egypt and these other places? And somebody said, well, could be that the French and the Americans and the British have oil investments made there more recently in the last several years. You know, for a while we weren't doing anything. Now we were business partners with them, and then all of a sudden, you know, we're sending troops and money and planes and bombs over there to protect somebody's interests.
Certainly, it's hard to see the difference between what was taking place in Libya and what is taking place in Syria right now, apart from the fact that there's no oil. It's very hard to see the difference.
No, yeah, that's absolutely
true. Now,
if
we take all you've said, then are you asking us to believe that a President Ron Paul could have ordered the kill of bin Laden by entering another sovereign nation?
No, I think things would be done somewhat differently. I would suggest that the way they got Khalid Mohammed, who was the real ringleader, and the people who did prove he's probably the ringleader on 9/11.
Yep.
And we went and cooperated with Pakistan. They arrested him actually and turned him over to us, and he's been in prison. And matter of fact, the same thing happened on the release of the people who had to do with the bombing in 1993, I believe, when they first attempt. And a matter of fact,
the blind sheikh guy.
Yeah, and they were all captured and brought and tried in a civilian court and they've all been punished.
Okay.
So no, what's wrong with that? Why can't we?
Okay.
Why can't we work with the government?
I just want to be clear. A President Ron Paul would therefore not have ordered the kill of bin Laden, which would have could only have taken place by entering another sovereign nation.
I don't think it was necessary. No,
it wasn't necessary to do it.
It was absolutely not necessary, and I think respect for the rule of law and world law, international law. What if he had been in a hotel in London? Mm-hmm. I mean, should if we wanted to keep it secret,
okay.
So would we have sent the airplane, the helicopters into London, and because they were afraid the information would get out? No, you don't want to do that.
Well, I think you've been very clear, sir. You've been very clear. I definitely do not want to put words in your mouth, but you're telling me a President Ron Paul would not have ordered the bin Laden kill to take place as it took place in Pakistan.
Not the way it took place, no.
Okay.
I mean, he was unarmed and, all these other arguments that came up.
All right, let's take a quick phone call and then we'll take another break and finish off with some phone calls. Dennis on a cell phone. You're on the Simon Conway Show. Make it quick, please.
Yes, sir. What I asked you, Ron Paul, is why would you give your own self a pay raise when you didn't give the senior citizens? I'm not a senior citizen. I'm working person, but why would you give your own self a pay raise, but you wouldn't give the senior citizens because you said you didn't have the money? Where in the heck is the money coming from for you?
Okay, Dennis, let him answer. Thank you.
I think he's mixed up.
I think so too, to be honest.
Because I've been the leader that have always introduced the resolution to keep the pay raises from going through, and also I am one other person have voluntarily not taken our pension fund.